Swiss Army Triplets are a rudiment that present certain challenges, and I'd consider it a more advanced rudiment. So if you're finding yourself struggling with building some speed with this rudiment, because let's face it, this rudiment is made to be a speed rudiment. It's usually played really fast. It's usually written on 16th notes, but one of the biggest struggles that my students have is that they lose the clarity of their playing, they lose the sound quality of their flams, and even evenness of their playing as they get this to be faster. So today, I'm going to go over 3 exercises that will help you keep your Swiss Army Triplets clear, clean, good sound quality in your flams as you bump them up faster and faster and faster. All right, so let's dive in. Let's start with, what is a Swiss Army Triplet? If you don't know, it looks like this. All right. It's written on a triplet. It sounds like this when you play it. Right, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left. Important things to notice, it always starts with the same hand. So right hand, doesn't alternate, accents on the first note. It can also be played with a left hand lead. All right, and if that's the case, we got our right hand here, left, left, right, and then our right hand here, and a left, left, right. It can be executed both ways. It's seen both ways in the music, so you should train it both ways. Don't let your left hand be the hand that can't keep up with the right hand, all right? So that's it, Swiss Army Triplet. First thing we're gonna do is take the flam away. So imagine this flam is gone, and all you have to worry about, we're just gonna focus today on the right hand, all right? So all you have to worry about is playing the rest of the sticking without the flam. Let's put a metronome on to keep us honest, okay? The exercise that's popping up, it's written on 8th note triplets instead of 16th note triplets. That's just so you can line it up with your quarter note beat on your metronome. Some folks don't have a metronome that will do 8th notes, so I like to really make sure you're starting in each rudiment on a click. So no flam, looks like this. Let's give it a try. Good. If that's too fast, slow it down. That's a metronome at 80, right? So you could go at 60. You could go a little faster, and that's what we're ultimately going to do, is we're going to build it up. So here's metronome at 90. Let's go 100. And we're going to see if we lose the sound quality in the first 2 notes as we speed it up. What really will happen the most is this accent will kind of carry into the second note too, and then both notes sort of have an accent, but we don't really want that. We want the first note to be stronger. So here it is, no flam, same exercise. Let's see if we can keep the accent stronger than the second note. Here we go. Awesome. So that was 100 if you were playing along, so you can check yourself with the tempos. To make that happen, you have to get an arm for the accent, but then keep it really low for the bounce stroke. It's essentially a bounce stroke as you get faster. This will turn into a diddle. So the next exercise is going to focus on that. Okay, it's going to focus on the first 2 notes, going from an accent to a non-accented note. You're going to have to control that rebound so it's quiet but still rhythmically accurate. Don't crush it together. I can't even do it too much anymore, but that's a really common thing I'll hear, is where those 2 notes get squeezed together and they're not rhythmically clear anymore. Let's back it up to 80. All right, so this is exercise number 2. We're focusing on the first 2 notes. So So this note, not even going to be played, right? This hand, not even going to be played. You can see in the exercise how it's written, but that's essentially what we're doing, focusing on those. Here we go. Flam is in. 1, 2, ready, and. Awesome, that's it. Now as we bump it up, you're going to use less wrist control and stroke for the first 2 notes, and it's going to become more of a bounce stroke. A little more fingers involved with controlling that low note. So we bumped it up to 100 if you're playing along, just so you can track yourself. This is 100. Exercise number 2. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, let's bump it up more if you're playing along for fun. This is 120. And again, if these jumps are too big for you, and you find yourself struggling between the jumps we're doing today, go smaller. Go to 110 instead. Go to 101. Go to 102. Bump it up at your own pace. That's really the trick to getting faster. So we're doing this again. We're at 120. Arm dropping for the first accent, and then controlled with the fingers and the wrist for the second note. All right, here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Awesome. So that is exercise number 2, and it's important. We're going to go back to 80 just to show you one time what it would look like with left hand. So now you're focusing on this happening. All right. Here we go. Whoops. We'll grab that later. All right. So that's what the left hand will look and sound like. Doesn't matter if you use matched grip or traditional grip. The sound quality shouldn't be different depending on what you're doing there. All right. So we're keeping the metronome at 80, but we're going to exercise number 3. This is the third and final exercise that we're going to work on today to help you build your speed and keep your clarity. And for this one, we're changing it up a little bit. Now, we're taking away the middle note. So all you're going to play is right, left, right, left. All right. This note, you're going to feel it, you're going to subdivide it, but you're not going to play it. And again, it's written in 1/8 notes in the exercise to make it a little bit easier to see visually and to think of as you subdivide it. But mostly, in case you have only a 1/4 note metronome, you can line it up as you count. So we're back at 80, right? We're going to play this exercise now. Big, strong accent, but the left hand, it stays low for both of these. It never really has to lift very high. It's about the timing of this note into that grace note. That's the trouble spot that I want to clean up. Ready? 1, 2, here we go. Very nice. We're going to switch right away and go to our left hand now. Ready? So left hand is starting. It's going to look like this. Let's do a different color. Let's get fancy. It's going to look like this sticking wise. Okay, so we're focusing on the blue sticking, still written the same on the bottom. But we're going to start it, we're going to flip the sticking on the bottom here and do our left hand lead. Here we go. Very nice, so that's at 80. Let's bump it up a little bit. We're going to 100. And again, if you're playing along and this is too big of a bump, then on your own practicing, bump it up to 85, go to 90. But here we go, we're on the green sticking. So right, left, ready, go. And let's go right to the left hand side, okay? 1, 2, left hand. Good, and again, this exercise is focusing on this. It's these two notes right here that it's helping us clean up, all right? That's what it's cleaning up for us. This is wrong. Let me fix that. That's a right hand. So it's right, and then up here, it's a left, left. That's usually a sloppy spot. And just cleaning up that one single moment in time can really help the timing and phrasing and clarity of the whole rudiment. So we bumped it up to 120. We're going to try the right hand lead the green. 2, 1, 2, ready, go. All right, next, left hand, you got to do both. 1, 2, ready, go. Awesome, great. So now you've done all of the exercises. The way I would practice them would be at a tempo where your sound clarity, your sound quality of your flams, the evenness of your rhythms is achievable at a relaxed feeling without tension. That's where you should start. And then just bump it up a little bit at a time. Do 10 beats per minute per jump. And when you find that spot where you're like, ooh, I lost my clarity, my rhythms got crushed, my flams don't sound as good, whatever it may be, then you bump it back and you go back 5 and see where you're at. But you're gonna try to find that spot where it's still happening, but you're on the edge of your best sound quality. You're on the edge of it. It still sounds good, but you can feel that you're close to it not sounding good. And you're gonna put lots of reps in at that tempo. Okay, and what's lots of reps? It depends on you. It depends on how quickly that becomes comfortable. And you'll notice that some tempos where you feel that little bit of struggle where you need to stay for a while, you might need 50 reps. Or if you think of it in minutes, you might need to do that for 5 minutes. And it'll feel better. And you can bump it up again to the next 5 clicks or 10 clicks. And then you might notice that in another 5 or 10 minutes, it feels better again. And do all of these. Do each one for 5 or 10 minutes if you have the time and you have that level of dedication into it. The more you do, the faster it gets better. But if you notice that you just have general fatigue in your hands just from playing for too long in a day, then stop. Take a break. Don't push beyond the general fatigue. The fatigue I'm talking about is that little bit of like, I can feel that I'm squeezing a little bit to try to force this sticking to happen or to force this rhythm to happen. That's when you just bump it back, but keep going. So that's how I would practice it. Consistency is key. Doing this 3-4 times a week will help. And you'll notice that when you come back to it the next day, you might have to go backwards again. Like you're not going to be able to just take off at your new tempo that you hit the last day and just keep going, right? You might have to go back and warm up into it again. And that's okay, because eventually you're going to notice that you don't need that warm up. If 130 was a struggle, the next day you'll have to struggle at 130 again. It's not going to be fixed magically, right? There's this muscle memory that starts to happen and this muscle speed that starts to develop, and it'll just get easier and easier as you go. But look at the long term as well as the short term, okay? Here we go. We're just going to play a full Swiss Army triplet right hand lead at 120. We've put some work in today at 80, at 90, at 100. We did some 120. Let's see what happens. Let's put it all in. 1, 2, ready, go. Awesome. Do a left hand start. 2, ready, go. Very good. If that was easy for you, bump it up. Bump it up. I don't know. Let's push it. Let's go 150. Let's see what happens. All right. If I was actually practicing, I wouldn't do this big of a jump. But just kind of show you where we're going. We're going to go for a little 150 right now. 2, 1, 2, ready, go. All right. Let's see if I haven't done left hand at this tempo today. Let's see what happens. 1, 2, left hand. All right, very nice. Now, the last thing you can do, and I do this with all of my rudiments, this is a very traditional rudimental way of practicing. I think it's the best thing you can do for getting your stick control happening. It takes you through different tempos. It takes you through different phases of playing from arm to wrist to fingers. We're going to break it down. And we're going to go from an incredibly slow tempo where everything can be analyzed perfectly and flawlessly up to a faster and faster tempo. Hey buddy, what's up? We're almost done, okay? All right, so let's try one. I'm going to do this one with right hand lead. All right, so we're starting up here, arm drop. You're always lifting as high as you possibly have time for. Okay, here it is. And we're just going to slowly speed it up. As we speed up, my hands are going to get closer to the drum pad. And I'm going to go from a wrist strokes to more of a bounce stroke on the front diddle. And then we're going to slow back down. Whoops. Transitioning back into less of a bounce and more of a wrist stroke. All right, so doing those breakdowns really develops the best stick control that you can develop. So give them a shot. Try them when you're practicing. And just remember that your fastest speed for those is whatever your fastest speed is without them falling apart, without too much tension building in your playing. And it'll slowly get faster as you do the other 3 exercises to build your Swiss Army Triplet speed. All right. This traditional approach to learning snare drum is the quickest, the easiest, the fastest way that you can build your chops to be everything you want them to be, to have more musicality, to play faster, to play with more relaxation and more flow. Anything that you've been struggling with or spinning your wheels with or watching, you know, this versus that, a technique, this is the technique that's helped. This is the approach that's helped me break through barriers in my playing. It's helped the students that I've taught over the last few decades to break through barriers in their playing in all aspects. They become better marimba players, better drum set players, better snare drummers. So give it a shot, put some time into it. Drop me a comment. Let me know if you found this helpful and what you might want to see next so that I can keep giving you the best videos that I can. All of these things were passed down to me from my teachers. It's not written down in books. So if I can help you, let me know. If you like it, subscribe it. share it with some friends, and don't miss another video, because drumming's the best thing you can do for yourself. So keep doing it. All right? All right. See you next time.